Today I'm breaking down the 10 best fantasy football stacks to have this year, but I'm doing it with a twist. We're basing this off of value, not who's going to score the most raw projected points. Of course, A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts and Travis Kelce and Pat Mahomes are going to score a ton of points, but are they better to have on your team than Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jared Goff, or Tua and Tyreek Hill? What is the best bang for your buck that allows you to build the best fantasy roster outside of that stack? And as we all know, these stacks are what allow us to get to the fantasy football championship and completely maximize our chances at scoring the most points. When CeeDee Lamb breaks out like he did last year, it usually brings along Dak to have an MVP type of season like he did, scoring almost 21 fantasy points per game. So we want to keep this in mind when we're drafting our teams. Now, my honorable mention stack is Josh Allen and whichever pass catcher you want. The reason I have this in honorable mention is because Josh Allen going at pick 36, I absolutely love. He's the quarterback one last year. He's going to be quarterback one again projected this year. But the problem is Dalton Kincaid at pick 51, Coleman at 71, Curtis Samuel at 98, and Shakir at 107. All these Bills players are really boosted up because no one's sure who's going to take over most of the Stephon Diggs role. But what if I told you this offense is just still very run heavy, kind of like it was at the end of last year, and nobody really breaks out? I think that they're all pretty bad values, and I wouldn't waste picks that are this valuable on guys that really aren't the best talents. The 10th best stack is Hopkins and Levis. I know this is crazy, but the value is there. This offense had a coaching change where they're going to be more pass heavy. Now Calvin Ridley is on this team. Derrick Henry is gone. I really think Will Levis is going to air the ball out. We're getting him at pick 182 and Hopkins at pick 73. That is pretty much free, and Hopkins was top 5 in ESPN's open score last year, which is a measurement of how open you get on your routes. That was tied with Garrett Wilson and A.J. Brown. I do not think he's washed. He had over 1,000 yards, didn't have as many touchdowns as I'd like. He had 7. I think this year he could have 10 plus in a more explosive offense. 9 is going to be Brock Purdy and George Kittle. I went with George Kittle because I think he's the best value on the 49ers. Currently, he's going at pick 67, and Purdy's at pick 112. I think Ayuk and Debo are fine picks in the second round, but Kittle is that real screaming value to me. Plus, out of those guys, he's probably the most likely to lead them in touchdowns, which would be very correlated with Brock Purdy's fantasy score. And surprisingly, Purdy averaged over 19 points per game last year, which is sneaky good for a quarterback. 8 is going to be Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. I said it before, Dak did average 21 points per game, and obviously CeeDee was the wide receiver one last year, but you have to pay a hefty price with the second overall pick for CeeDee Lamb. I think Dak at pick 93 is actually a great value, and it's a very, very correlated stack. If the Dallas offense is good this year, both these guys will be amazing. Number 7, a very sneaky one. It's Justin Jefferson and J.J. McCarthy. You literally have to spend nothing for J.J. McCarthy. He is currently going at pick 196 in most of your drafts. He's probably going to be undrafted, and Justin Jefferson, in my opinion, is a value at pick 5 or 6. For me, he's pick 3 or 4. Even with the backup quarterbacks last year, he averaged over 20 points a game, averaging 22 over the final 4 when he finally recovered from that hamstring injury and was playing with guys like Nick Mullins. I think J.J. McCarthy is in a very similar situation to Brock Purdy last year, where he has Aaron Jones, Justin Jefferson, T.J. Hawkinson, and Jordan Addison. I think J.J. McCarthy is in a very similar situation to what Brock Purdy had last year, where he has such a stacked offense around him, 2 great left and right tackles, then he's got Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, T.J. Hawkinson, and new addition Aaron Jones. He could struggle as a rookie and still be buoyed by this great offense. I'm not too worried about him, and he's a screaming value. Number 6 is Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown. Obviously, they're probably the best stack in the league for points per game, but they're very, very expensive. It's pick 38 for Hurts, and it's pick 10 for A.J. Brown. On top of already being expensive, they really, really fell off as an offense overall at the end of last year. We do need to see a bit of a bounce back, but of course, I think the tush push is still going to be there, even though Jason Kelce retired, so I'm not too worried about it, but it's not the best value. At 5, it's Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison. Marvin's going at pick 14. Kyler's going at pick 82. Kyler is the real screaming value in my eyes here. He should be going much closer to, the Jalen Hurts. I don't know how he's going near Dak Prescott when he has so much rushing upside. He could really have a 22 to 24 points per game type of season, and I wouldn't be shocked. Without Cliff Kingsbury there, he's 2 years removed from that. Obviously, he's removed from the ACL as well. How is he going to fail in this type of setup when last year he was averaging almost 19 points a game straight off the ACL when he came in around week 10 and didn't have quite the offense he has now? Trey McBride is breaking out. Great wide receiver one in Harrison. James Conner's back and fully healthy. He's a great running back to have. I really think it's wheels up for the Cardinals. The value is there and the upside is there. 4 is one that you can get in every single draft if you want it. It's Justin Herbert and Ladd McConkey. Justin Herbert is getting such disrespect going at pick 133, and Ladd McConkey getting some high praise going at pick 69. Now, it's so nice because if you do end up taking Ladd McConkey, you're going to be the guy who gets Herbert. You can really push Herbert very far in drafts because who else is going to take him? The guy who is Josh Palmer? Probably not. I think McConkey walks in, gets 8 to 10 targets a game after, week 5 when they really establish some connection. He's going to be that Keenan Allen type of slot receiver, except he has 4.39 speed, mega fast, has that big play upside. And Herbert, I know they're going to be very run heavy. That's why it's still this low. I'd have it even higher if they weren't going to be so run heavy with the new coaching staff. Clearly with Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins and a Greg Roman offense, they're going to run the ball a lot. But it's so hard for me to keep a guy that's talented like Justin Herbert this low. I think he'll figure things out kind of like Pat Mahomes has in the past. The run is going to set up the pass, and he should be fairly efficient. Number 3, Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp. I know you guys know how much I love them. Pick 152 for Stafford completely free, and pick 32 for Kupp. He's my favorite pick in the 3-4 turn. The great thing about this is since Stafford is not a rushing quarterback, all of his fantasy production is coming through his top 2 receivers and maybe some dump offs to Kyren Williams. This is currently my most drafted stack in all of the 50 plus paid leagues I'm in on Underdog Fantasy, just because it's so easy to get. And I really think with Cooper Kupp back to full health, Stafford has true 5,000 yard upside with those 2 great receivers. The second best stack is Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews going at pick 44 and pick 50. They are very easy to grab for having such high ceilings. I think Mark Andrews is very, very underpriced at pick 50. Lamar is more fine with me. I think Andrews is truly the only receiver on that team that is super correlated to Lamar because they use him so much in the red zone. But the only stack that is better than that, you probably guessed it, even for the bang for the buck, it is Mahomes at pick 49 and Kelsey at pick 39. This is the perfect buy low opportunity. Mahomes is going to throw for over 5,000 yards and 45 plus touchdowns this year, and Kelsey should easily get back to 1,200 plus receiving yards for him. The offense is much improved. Mahomes is going to be absolutely going nuts downfield, but Kelsey is still going to be the main guy. The defense got worse. L'Jarius Sneed is gone, and guys, get this. The Chiefs last year per game were projected to score 22 points per game. This year, before the season, the odds are at 27.5 per game. I'm clearly not the only person who thinks the Chiefs will have a massive rebound year on offense. They were insanely inefficient last year. And I'm sure in years past, many of you guys have been dragged to the championship using Mahomes and Kelsey stacks before. We're running it right back. If you guys like these fantasy football videos, make sure to follow, make sure to leave a comment, let me know what you want to see next, leave a like, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.